here with Alluvial Plain. This is one of the group that will be performing with us on May 28th at the Gathering. And we've been graciously been given this space, which is Curry Hall, the historical National Ballet School space, part of our cultural pluralism in the arts movement, Ontario's Pluralism for Organizational Change organization. It's a pleasure. I'm curious to hear more about your artistic practice, how you got into music. Yeah.
So I suppose the answer for that, how we got into music, would be a little bit different for each of us. So I'll just say for me, I have been doing music since I was a little girl. And I sang in choirs as a kid and then did a lot of theater and music. And then sang in a cappella groups and choruses and then just singing with jazz pianists and other ensembles.
Similar kind of story. I've been singing since I was a little girl. Everyone in my family's kind of a folk musician. So, yeah, pretty much been involved in music in some way my whole life.
And I'll third that. I started playing piano when I was 4, and I've taught. I've written music with theater and dance. I've also got a theater background, and the arts is an awesome place to be.
For you, what was the first thing that you heard about the drums that made you decide that this was going to be what you would end up playing?
Yeah, first decision, I think my aunt had told me stories about her playing orchestral percussion when she was in high school. And she was sort of an inspiration to me, so I think that's why I chose it. And then when I started playing with it, I really enjoyed jamming along with my favorite songs.
And something is mentioned here around the practice, which we do a lot in CPAMO, is there's a diversity in practice. And so you mentioned folk singing. What genres of music emanates in your soul? What drives you when you hear this genre of music and of singers? Do you go, yes, this is what I actually gravitate towards more?
I think for me, the most distinctive music I sang at the earliest age was Gregorian chant. But I'm half Indian, so I grew up around Indian classical music being played, and quarter tones always interested me. And so I had that, but I also sang with a Celtic band, a Celtic a cappella band, and that music from Ireland and from France also really speaks to me. I don't know, I like music of all sorts, I have to say, and there's really almost no distinctive music, culturally speaking, that doesn't turn my crank in some way. Absolutely, that's true.
It's great to hear.
I say a lot of the same things. The Scottish folk songs. I also played in a 1920s band for about 20 years. So I love that music. One of the things I really love about Aruna's music is the theatricality of it and how many nuances there are in it. So that sense of the theater in music and all the colors that you can bring out is one thing that excites me with, especially the music we're doing here.
That's amazing.
And on that note, tell us about the formation of the band, the group. What drives that?
Okay, so I have done theater for a while, and then I did philosophy for a while, and now I can come back into music, and I've been writing songs, I guess, for about 25 years, and so a collection of songs now that we're going to be performing. We're very excited about being part of the CPAMO on the 28th of the performance, because we're going to be debuting a collection, selections from a collection of songs that we're doing called Voyage to Anthropocene. So you may know that the Anthropocene is now this epoch that we're in, the epoch of humans.
Yes.
And so we've been writing and working on songs that talk about the environment, but also talk about what we've been doing in the environment, or maybe what we haven't been doing enough of in terms of addressing what's happening on the planet, in terms of things like plastics, etc. So one of the things that we like to do with the genre, I would say, with the whole band, is to take a genre that's quite known and then in a way pervert it by changing the content, the usual content for that song. And so we do a song called City Hotel that's about 4 incidents that happened here in Ontario of racism that sort of came on the heels of the Trump election. And they happened in Hamilton, they happened outside of Toronto, and also in Thunder Bay. And we do that song with country music form.
Yes.
And so country music usually doesn't deal with those topics, so it's kind of fun to sort of play around with that. And I would say that we do that quite a bit in the music that we work on.
And it's great to hear you say that, because that's interesting, I think, and probably for the viewers who will be attending, that sort of flipping the script in terms of the genres that you associate with a particular type of music structure, to then flip it and actually have this environmental theme based with it, changes the relationship, I think, for audiences who will be coming, and how they interact with the music. Tell us about the importance of actually having your music address the times. And in this case, the time of contemporary realities, the time in which we're in, where there is still racist thoughts, there is still things around diversity, equity, and around how we actually actualize ourselves as human beings. Can you talk to that?
Kevin, I'm really glad you asked that question, because I was thinking about the 10th anniversary, and what I was thinking was that I hope we don't have to have a 25th anniversary. Like, I hope that we address and start living our lives and start understanding one another in ways that don't require us to call out and be very, very intentional about including people who are often left on the margins. And so for me, I think the times, I feel like as an artist that artists are crying right now. I think that artists are crying because there's so much going on and there's so much that needs addressing. And so we can't, though, always be sort of singing dirge-like songs, etc. And so Plastic Lomert, which is a song that we're going to be singing, and I'm excited to sing it, to debut it at CPAMO, is about what's happening with plastics on the planet. Every year, we seem to make more plastic than we've made in our history. And so this is something that is insupportable. And so we sing this song, Plastic Lomert, but it sounds like we're happy when we're singing a song like, you know, that you might sing when you're about to go on a voyage and celebrate, etc. So it's again that sort of perversion, but I do think that, I think as an artist, I feel sad, I cry a lot. And I try to channel that into writing music to say, hey, like, what are we doing? Let's look at each other, let's listen to each other, let's connect. And I have to say that CPAMO, what you have been doing, has been so important, actually, for my practice, because I feel recognized, and I feel seen, and I feel heard. And I really loved, for example, Shula Strasberg, when she did that, after our performance, she did a kind of, a sort of evaluation.
Yes,
yeah,
the critical response process.
Yeah, and that was amazing. I really liked Shula. And yeah, I actually composed a piece for her that I want to share with you, because yeah, she really touched me. I was very grateful to meet her through the context of the gathering, and then the talks that we had last November as well. So much richness. Yeah, it's very important, the work that you're doing. I just hope we don't need you to do that work. I do. I really do. I really genuinely hope that we do not need you to be doing that kind of work, because people get it, and we don't have to ask for being seen.
Yes, yes. What are your thoughts on music in a contemporary time?
Well, music is always important. It's always been important, especially now when people think of music and a lot of art as disposable, maybe, and expected to get everything for free. I think it's important that we still do it well, and we still bring up the important topics that people care about. It still should be an important part of our culture, even if it's sometimes seen as disposable.
Yeah, and I would also say more people playing together is a really important thing, having that sense of connecting, and because there's such a sense of overwhelm, and that we're up against so many things, that just the connecting and that joy that you get from singing and working together, creating something, is something that I think is really important to people today. We need more of that.
And to you, the last word is listening in a contemporary time. Because you're in the back most of the time, listening and supporting. What does it mean in a contemporary time to listen more, to be more open to different possibilities, different ways of experiencing music?
I think it's important to check yourself, to check your ego, and be clear about your role, and be a team player, and to support the vision.
Great. Thank you. There you have it from some of the artists that will be performing on May 28th as part of the gathering. It's our 10th anniversary for CPAMO, and we're just really grateful to have you guys for another round and to present your music. So thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting
Thank you.
us.
Yeah.
Thank you.